This is some nest.
I hope this is a warm enough welcome for you, insect.
The climb through Vulture's tower comes in 3 parts. This is the first part where there are a few grenades, mines, and robot spiders to avoid just to get you used to how the traps work.
Today, I'll bring things to a more permanent end.
Don't do it, Vulture. You still have so much to live for.
Everything can be reliably jumped over with good timing, but zipping also helps.
You're becoming a thorn in my side. Today, you die, Spider-Man!
Ah, yes. The old swinging log of doom trick.
We do take a small amount of damage from zipping past a log like that, but trying to platform past it would hurt us a lot more. It's better to be safe. These robot spiders pounce at us with their webbing and then explode, and it's not a small explosion, and it can knock us into other explosions. The way to avoid them is either to jump, or just keep moving in a single direction away from them. We've entered the second part of the climb, in case you couldn't tell, where there are a lot less traps and grenades, but it's more maze-like. Thankfully, I have long since memorized the way through.
Who's your landlord, Vulture? Quasimodo?
There's only one more hidden pathway we have to find before we reach the part of this level that almost everyone dreads. And I'm not gonna lie and say it's without good reason, but there are a couple of things that make it more bearable.
I'd come down there, but you seem busy, Spider-Man.
Hey, I can make time for you.
You can't count on your zipping to save you in this section, because if you stay on a wall too long, even if you zip really far away, something will find you and explode. The trickiest bit of this entire section are the corners, because the spiders love to gang up on you in the corners. And the explosions don't wait for you to get invincibility frames, you will be stun locked. Thankfully, there are health pickups in the center of all of these columns. Also, sometimes the floor blows up, but you can just web zip up right back to where you are. And as you just saw, our web dome can also save us from some of the explosions. But staying in one spot with our web dome isn't very good either. If we just stay in one spot and keep using our web dome, then we'll run out of webbing, and the Vulture won't have run out of grenades. This last corner is particularly tough because it's so tight.
That's one heck of a doorbell Vulture's got. Must be a pain to get groceries up here.
Ah, pest! Why can't you leave me in peace?
You'll have plenty of time alone once you're in jail. Hey, Vulture, didn't your mother ever teach you that stealing is wrong?
You're too persistent, web slinger. These gyms are insured. The only injured party here is you, in a moment.
The easiest way to avoid the Vulture's wrath is to stay really far above him. Now, the meter on the top of the screen doesn't like this very much.
Hey, come back. The food at the old folks' home wasn't that bad, was it?
But don't let the meter scare you into switching strategies. As long as you can still see the Vulture, you're all good. I also use my faster web swinging here and just jump when I need to change direction.
This will slow the pest down. What's it going to be, Spider-Man? A few jewels or innocent lives?
You couldn't just leave this a personal disagreement, could you, Baldy? I'll settle with Vulture after I stop that sign from collapsing.
For some reason, Vulture waits for you to web up the sign before he starts flying away again.
No, Spider-Man! And you won't get hurt!
Sorry, I'm a glutton for punishment.
Vulture's only other attack is his feather darts, which can be hard to see, but if you jump when you hear them, then you'll be safe.
Those people look thirsty, don't they, Spider-Man? Why don't I serve them a drink?
I think the folks down there are wet enough already.
Just like last time, the Vulture waits for you to finish before he starts flying away again. Only because I assume the designers thought it would be too difficult to catch up with him otherwise. Anyway, from here on there are no more distractions, it's just a chase with Vulture to the finish.
You haven't got a chance of catching me. Go home, kid. I can't do that. What would my adoring public think?
All in all, this is a very easy level, assuming you know how to avoid his feather darts. But if you don't know how to avoid his feather darts, then I imagine it would be quite, frustrating. But it's all about listening instead of watching. He does also make a lot of sharp turns, but reorienting yourself after you jump off your webbing is really easy.
You're not getting away from me that easily. You shouldn't be flying around at your age, Vulture. You'll hurt yourself.
Vulture's pretty easy and his attacks barely do any damage. After we hit him a certain number of times, he lands where we can actually start hurting him.
You grounded me for a moment, but just you wait.
Vulture's down. Now's my chance to stop him for good.
Well, normally this would be our chance to stop him, but there's a combo up here on top of the lightning rod. And it's in our best interest to try and get it after Vulture has landed. Because if he's flying around while we try to get it, then he'll shoot at us. And his feather darts deal a lot more damage than any of his other attacks. Unfortunately, as you're seeing, the lightning rod needs to be approached from a specific side. So we're going to try it again, and we're going to do plan B. Instead of distracting Vulture, we're going to constantly switch which side of the lightning rod we're on. That way he won't be able to aim at us. And we're on the right side this time, but Spider-Man's doing a little dance, because I tried to readjust myself and he didn't like that. Either way, now we have the combo and I'm happy. In case you were wondering, if lightning does strike while we're on the top, we die instantly. And what's worse, I was so happy about getting that combo without dying, that I forgot that there's a much easier to get combo right on the building.
History will judge me superior.
Vulture's attacks while you're near him during this boss are relatively slow. Relatively. And they're pretty easy to avoid. The reason I keep getting hit is because I try and always go on the offensive, instead of counterattacking like you should. But that's because of a later aerial combat fight, or rather several, where constantly attacking is to your advantage. It's not like his attacks really hurt anyway. After he lands, we want to break out our advanced web gloves and look at his health drain. A couple more of those and he should be done. Even if we do get hit some more, which we shouldn't get hit nearly as much because I wise up and stop pretending he's another boss after this, it still wouldn't be too hard to survive because there are health pickups all over the building. He's really a complete piece of cake, especially after that battle with the Oscorp robots in the sky. That is way tougher than this.
I can't stay airborne!
You shouldn't be flying around at your age, Vulture. You'll hurt yourself. Senility is an ugly thing to witness.
Yes, Spider-Man!
We're relying on the homing kick a lot for mid-air combat, and we're going to keep doing that because it's our best friend up here. It's the fastest move at our disposal outside of our webbing, and we have limited webbing.
Vulture, you're gonna catch cold flying around out here.
I can't stay airborne!
You have a lot of pep for someone your age. Now, Vulture, you can't go around taking things that don't belong to you. What kind of example does it set for impressionable youngsters out there?
Come on, old-timer. Wouldn't want you falling before we can book you, right?